Hello and welcome to Who Dares Rolls TV. I am your host, Mike B. Here we are, another week, fresh, crispy week of December. It's a little cold. It's been hurricanes hitting us. It's been grim. It's been grey. And apparently only one Christmas party took place last year. Well, we're not discussing that at the moment because it didn't happen. On the cusp of how is everyone? Are we all right? The news getting you down? Probably. I don't watch it anymore, to be honest with you. Just absolute fuck nuggets, all of them. But yeah, look out. I hope you're playing some games. I play some games. In fact, you know what? What I should do? Let's have a look at the games that I have played. On the weekend or last, I got to go. We played Suburbia. Actually, Ben owns Suburbia, and I don't think I took anything around. There was only three of us playing: me, Bob, Ben. Robbie had taken his sick bed, so we played Suburbia, which is a city building game. You put hexes down, you build a thing. It's one of those games that I have no feelings either way on. I quite enjoy it when I'm playing it, but up until that point in time, it's not on my radar. But it's fun. It was all right. It was entertaining. So we did that. Then on Sunday we played Tapestry, because why not? But we also played it with the new expansion, the Arts and Architecture expansion. I could go, it was there. No expense spared. Yes, the Arts and Architecture expansion of Tapestry. So very briefly, number one, you've got to be fair dues to Stonemaier. This was up for pre-order on the 1st of December. Went on the site, it was about 30 odd quid, I think, for the expansion. Then they had, if you did the Champions membership, then you could get a discount of 25% on it and on shipping and get it shipped out instantly. So essentially, I did the Champions thing because it ended up being about 2 or 3 quid more expensive than if I just bought it on its own, and I got it literally the next day virtually. Anyway, hats off to Stonemaier for doing that business model. He's done well. He's moved from Kickstarter and he's done this, and he's fine. You know what? I can't knock the guy for what he's doing. Anyway, So what it adds is essentially a new track, arts track on the board, so you can generate stuff down there. Masterpieces, which are like cards you can buy from this arts track that put on there, which generate more resources and income terms. Some more Tapestry cards, some more buildings, some more landmarks, some of these expert level locations. So you always had the board where you had your cities built. Well, now there's 5, I think there is in there. I was going to say 5, maybe 6 expert level boards, which basically have the same thing, but they've got rules attached to them about what you can and can't build on, or stuff like that, or how to generate extra points. A bunch more Tapestry cards, a few more tech cards, most of them related to landmark stuff, a bunch of stuff like that. So that was mainly what in there. It's a lot more than plans and ploys. Adds this art track to it, which just is a nice conundrum to have now, because you always had the 4 tracks, but now there's this 5th track that you can go down, which is not massively expensive. And some of those masterpiece cards are very powerful if you get them at the right time. So that was pretty cool. I did max that track out in the end. I didn't win, but I did score pretty well. There's also a really cool touch is you can add these overlays onto the top of your board. So your income tracks, as you take stuff off, you can actually upgrade them off this arts track, which just gives you more points, more stuff. They are having a couple of them fully upgraded and opened up and everything off. And that's where I made a fatal mistake in my play. Big points to be earned there. So yeah, we played it. Jamie won, I think, with quite significantly. We all played one, I believe, mostly with the new tribes. I'm going to say tribes, new civilizations. I think Tony didn't. I can't, for the life of me, remember what mine is. Robbie had the gamblers, which were you gambling on Tapestry cards. Jamie had stuff that he could score himself. He had only 3 options, but he essentially could change his scoring options he got, and he scored very well at the right times on that. And mine, for the life of me, I can't remember what I had. What the... I have no fucking idea. Anyway, so if you've played Tapestry and you like Tapestry, I heartily recommend that, because it's really good. And it's added enough that I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of good shit going on there. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Really like that, and it has enhanced my Tapestry playing experience more so with that attached. And I would definitely probably keep that in there now. And there's enough of a headspace now that I need to get around. Ooh, it's changed the game quite a lot. So there's a lot of thinking to be done with that. But yes, really liking on that. There is a Tapestry review of just the base game that I've kind of thrown together that should be out this week as well. For you, no extra charge. Then we played some Lifeboat that we mentioned the other week. That was fun. Tony bought himself a copy of that instantly after playing mine. But he did well to catch that. He got a good deal on it. For about 20 quid, I think. He got the base game and all the expansions, which is insultingly good that he got that. And I have never been able to pick the expansions up because they're ridiculously expensive. What a knob jockey. Then we played Diamonds, which is, it's over there, I was going to get it. Diamonds is like a trick-taking game, and you're making tricks, and then you're moving diamonds out of the middle and pop them into either a vault in front of you or a showroom in front of you. It's really nice. It's nice. I'm always with the nice. I haven't played it for a while, but it's a fun trick-taking game. You could use it with a base set of cards, to be fair. You could definitely fudge your own version of it if you looked at the rules online. But yeah, I just as an end of play thing, it's a nice kind of card-based card game type thing without playing poker or something. So that was good. I enjoyed that. Then the other day, I'm thinking of getting a game of this in the weekend. This is Blockmania by Richard Halliwell. This was reprinted a little while ago by Rebellion, who did the 2008 games. I saw this, I think Chaos Cards had this in their sale at some point this year, but this and the Mega Mania expansion for about 20 quid or so. So I own it. So I did a playthrough on my own of this the other day, and it is everything I expected, because it's been many years since I do. So Blockmania is taken from the storyline in Judge Dredd of Block War starts, where essentially big huge city blocks full of people just start fighting a neighbouring city block, and that's what the game is. The base game is a 2-player game, and I get a feeling it's probably almost the best way to play it, because it's probably going to go on a bit. Or you can play with the expansion up to 4 players. Which is going to be carnage. Think of it and like a bit like Worms. Stick with me, the board game, because essentially you're just bombarding each other, running troops. It's just random carnage of randomness all over the place. You're essentially running in and trying to blow up each other's block, and you can literally blow up their whole city block if you could detonate things. Now, in my playthrough, I was playing around with it. I detonated a demolition charge in a neighbouring block, and it very nearly, with a really cool mechanism of like the damage spreads and crumbles up for the building. Of course, it's like shadow effect. It's a real clever, simple mechanism, but it's great, and it's prime 1980s board gaming. That is just the rules. And there's so many rules. It's a lot. It's like a war game, but a vertical war game. But it's all the rules. It's the thing I love about 1980s games, and I hate it in the same thing. In that, it's got such a huge amount of thematic rules, and then loads of rules, all the weapons, all the stuff, all the chits, all the stuff. Everything does all stuff. And whilst it's relatively straightforward to grasp, there's just enough rules on there, but you need them in there to make it give the nuance and make it all work in the funky, cool way it needs to work. And it is often trauma of these games. And I think of Lifeform as a prime example of a more modern design. And I mentioned before, it's got that bunch of rules, minutiae rules. Dungeon Generous is the same. It's all those rules heavy to the point of tipping over. Elephant Man style giant head. But it doesn't, and it works, and it shouldn't work, and it hurts your brain, but you enjoy it because of all that knobbly bits. It's not been refined, and it kind of works, and I like that sometimes in the game. It gives it character. Charming motherfucker, as they say. So yeah, Richard Halliwell was a master designer, sadly passed away, I think it was last year now. And he did a lot of stuff for Games Workshop, and they never really worked for the last 10 or 20 years, which is a terrible, disappointing shame and a waste of a huge talent. But what he did do was fantastic. Dark Future is another thing that comes to mind. Again, ridiculous rule set onto that to play and teach. But when you're playing it, fuck, it's a good game. So I might try and get a game of this in the weekend with the Sunday crowd. I suspect it's going to go on as long as a Twilight Imperium game when we do it. But it might just be that crazy enough level of crazy shit to enjoy. So it's very much on the radar. Might give it a block because I really fancy that. Anyway, so that's that. Let's do some news. Yes, news. So news. News number one is Dragon Meet took place the weekend just gone. I was going to go. I was tickets booked. I was nearly on the way to it. Her indoors has been ill. She's had the flu-y thingy thing. It's not COVID. We've been tested. But she was rough as a bag full of hammered badgers from Sunday till she's still rough now. So I didn't go in the end. I stayed home and looked after the little man and was did my nurse Florence Nightingale type thing. Just doing all the shit. Being very helpful. Washing and cooking and things. Domestic bliss. So anyway, I didn't go. So I haven't heard really much from her. I think Charlie went, but I really haven't seen or heard much. So I get a feeling that I haven't missed a lot. It's a shame because it would have been nice to get to a con, and with the rise of the dreaded COVID, you know what, maybe it was a sensible call. It was a sensible call because I was being a good husband and daddy. Don't fucking judge me. What else? Then there's been a storm in a Dice Cup, which was Henry Cavill from Superman and The Witcher fame, was on Graham Norton the other day and kind of got mocked for his love of Warhammer.
You do have more hobbies than the average man, I'd say. But you paint, is it World of Warcraft?
Warhammer.
Warhammer, I'm a fool.
Yep. It's Warhammer, Greg.
Okay, Warhammer. So what, so you paint by hand?
Yes, yeah.
Does everyone do that, or can you buy them already
no,
painted?
you have to paint them, but it's just how much effort you put into it.
And you put a lot of effort.
There's the painting, modelling side of the hobby, and then there's the gaming side of the hobby.
Okay. And when you paint them, what do you do with them then, Henry?
Then you put them together in little armies and you fight against someone else's army. It is fun.
Oh,
I mean,
very
it sounds
fun.
ridiculous, but it is
Yeah,
fun.
no, toys, very good fun. Do you invite people over?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can I come over and paint?
You can.
Absolutely, it sounds amazing.
I think what we take away from the clip is Cavill he's a fan. He is a fan, and you know, he's legitimately like, this is my fucking shit, man. Get off of it. I don't know why people lost their shit over it, because it's what happens when, you know, Norton's clearly no concept of grasp of what it is even they're talking about anyway, and it's a nerd hobby. But there we go. We're very cool now because Henry does it. You know, just saying. But anyway, that was kind of cool. Then things you keep an eye out. There's something that's really cool. Is That Time You Killed Me is a 2-player abstract game that is about time travel. It's played over 3 boards. It's been getting a little bit of buzz, and I think it's just come out. If it was more than a 2-player game, I would have probably jumped over this because it's about 30 quid. I think it's out. I've seen it. And it's also got kind of a legacy inset. There's little boxes of extra rules you can open and add things to the game. The idea is you play with these 3 boards, and essentially you can make changes in the first board, which is the first age, and it affects things in the second and third age. So you can plant a tree in the first one. By the time it's grown as a full tree in the last board, you can push it over or saw it over and kill someone. And the idea is you're trying to kill your competitor. And that's how it kind of works. And there's these different rule boxes you open and add just a bit more thing to it. And I've read a thing or heard a thing that they mentioned is very much like Zelda. If you ever played Zelda in the Temple of Tombs, where you're making changes, the different time things, that sort of stuff. I think it's very cool. I think it's a really good. I love time travel as a board game concept because it does work. There's Anachrony, which is one I've sadly never played. I would love to look at it. There was Time Stories that worked. Especially that first mission was brilliant in evoking that time travel feel. And there's been other versions of it. And I kind of like this. It's just a shame it's only a 2-player, which makes me think. I was halfway through designing a game. If you've seen the Tom Cruise star Live, Die, Repeat, I can't remember, The Edge of Tomorrow, I kind of came up with a concept of a game of that, where you were fighting against hordes of these aliens that were predefined patterns, so that you could jump back in time and learn the pattern to better it. And that's kind of sat there on my back burner. So that's something I might have another look at, because I think I could probably do that just because of the brain was ticking over. So there's that. Anyway, that might be worth, if you could get 2 players of you and play it, have a look into it. It looks kind of cool. I don't think I'd ever get to play it is the problem, because it's 2-player. It's my big bin. La Granja is getting a reprint from Board and Dice. La Granja came out from Stronghold Games a good few years ago now. And it's one that always kind of looked cool. They did a dice version of it as well. It's a bit of gardening-y, farmy type thing, but there was something about it. It got a lot of buzz at the time, and it was one I'd been like, I think it came out at the same sort of time as Terraforming Mars. I'm sure not. Anyway, let's get a reprint from Board and Dice, which I was kind of again like, oh, I might get a chance to give this a shot. But it's going to Kickstarter, which just means it's going to be vastly bloated with crap and overpriced. So we'll see. Then there is Jurassic World Legacy has been announced. Now this looks fucking cool. And look at the box design. It just looks, it's evoking that 1950s kind of pulp thing. It's a Legacy game from Prospero Hall, and it's a Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. You're on there, and it starts off from what I've read a little bit on this. Polygon, I think, did the thing on it. It's a cooperative game, a bit pandemic-ish, in that you're trying to get survivors on the island and doing missions and stuff. And the game evolves. You build the camp, you build the island up better, and you put full walls up and fences and stuff with the legacy thing, and your characters can get wounded or hurt, and all lots of meaty legacy-ish things. And Jurassic. Now this sounds like it's nailing the whole Jurassic Park ball game thing. That's been kind of not quite grasped by any of the ones that have come out. I mean, Dinosaur Island's all right. Dinosaur World, I've heard, is a bit shit. I don't know. I've not heard great things about it, and it doesn't seem to have much buzz. I was going to say it's reprint Dinosaur Island, but it's kind of a sequel. There's Dinogenics, which I thought was really enjoyable and did kind of capture it, but didn't quite capture that whole Jurassic Park thing. It's there, but it's not. But it's a good game. And then there's the Tiny Epic Dinosaurs, which again was all right, but felt like, okay, if you're going to play that, you must have played that, not Dinosaur Island. But again, it didn't quite do. It was more a mechanics process. You're just doing the things rather than thematically getting that zing off of it. Anyway, so this looks really cool. I love the art design, the production. It looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely down up my alley. Wherever it is, it's all over the fucking shit. It's there. But it's going to have a like $120 price on it, and it's going on a Kickstarter. And I instantly go, oh, for fuck's sake, just release it to retail. So that's where I'm in and out on that one. So I will probably wait for the retail release of it. But it does look very cool. Now, planes flying overhead. While we wait for that to fucking happen, you know what, Mystic Eye? This Jurassic Park World game thing, is it going to be worth the wait? Should we Kickstarter it?
It is best that you do not know.
Well, I see you're back to the usual level of shit that we have. So anyway, there's that. So that's the news, I think that's enough of that. Quick things. I have not watched much. I've been watching The Expanse, actually. I finished season 4, which I think I rounded up the other week, that I found it was a bit disappointing. It kind of didn't move anything forward, and it was weird. But it feels that now I've started on season 5, and season 5 is remarkably improved on 4. Much more back to the Expanse-y feel. Stuff going on there. It's kind of upped its mayhem quantum. There's a lot of shit going down, and yeah, I'm very much more enjoying that. It feels like 4 was almost a little bit of foundation building, prepping for this season, really, because that's what that's but the only. There's a few bits in 4 that set up some stuff for this, and 5 is absolutely roaring along. It's going for it. I'm really enjoying that. I think the last season drops in the next week or so I'll be ready to dig straight into that. But yeah, really enjoying that. Only for chuckle-worthy thing is Marco, who's the big villain of this season. The guy playing him, he's really channeling his calm. It's Ricardo Montalban, and he really is channeling a lot of that over egging it a bit, calm level of acting, lots of, that. But, I'm going to dig in it on that. I'm like, you know what, he's doing calm, he's doing a Montalban. So, yeah, if you've not seen it, well worth a watch. And for additional extra carnage, the stuff, then brilliant. But yeah, really digging that. Been good fun. I can't wait to watch the final season. Hopefully they nail it at the end, because it's all right. It's good. It's back to where I want my Expanse. So that's it. I think that's it. Hawkeye dropped today. I haven't watched that yet, so I will do. I didn't really watch much else that I can think of. I may have watched stuff, but it's clearly made not a very particular great mark upon me, so I can't remember what it was. That's it for me, really. Thank you for tuning in. I may have some other stuff out soon. Who knows? I've got the Tapestry review coming, so that's happening. Charlie is going to do some stuff. He's mentioned like, share, subscribe, all that shit. You should do that. Patronize. You know the fucking score. I think that's it. I still haven't seen Ghostbusters. Don't think I will now. Hopefully I get to play Block Mania, which is going to go on and make my head hurt and break Tony, but I do want to fucking do that. Or anything else you suggest, that level of knowledge. I might have to play the solo game of Life Form. I'm all over the place today. Anyway, that's me done. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you soon. Have a great week, or whatever you're doing. Stay safe out there. Don't go to any Christmas parties. You know the score. Fucking sort it out. Thank you, and good night.